And
Oh
we're
no,
back.
you see.
So, you're gonna get us copyrighted, Mac. You can't do that.
I didn't say anything like that.
No, no, no. You don't
Nickelodeon,
No,
please
you
do
don't
not
understand.
copyright me.
Big Nickelodeon does not like it when Mac sings their songs.
Yeah, I'm sure they're
it was
going
an
to like that.
accident. It was an accident, Nickelodeon. I'm sorry.
Nickelodeon doesn't forgive
Yeah.
this kind of failure, Mac.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
they're after
Sorry.
you now.
Okay,
Oh,
so
that's good.
Afro Man.
Maybe.
Afro
Yep.
Man.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
I don't know a whole lot about this topic, so you kind of start off, kind of give the background
he's
on
my
this
brother.
part,
Yeah.
and then
So, to my understanding, what happened with him is that someone called the cops on him and basically said that he had kidnapped someone and was like holding them hostage almost. That's kind of what I understand from it. So the cops, without really doing much intel gathering, it sounds like, or like recon of any sorts, they just kind of busted into his house, just kind of waltzed on in, and did a raid on his home. Now, I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what I've understood from what I've read so far. And he has cameras inside his home, as many rich people do. And he made a music video, I think called Are You Gonna Fix My Door? Directed at them, and used footage from the raid that happened on his home in the video. So the cops who were in the video, which I don't know how many it was, are suing him for like emotional trauma from it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
El Cop moment.
Yeah.
Cop moment.
Yeah,
You know,
really.
I normally support
Yeah.
our police, but that's an El Cop moment.
Yeah,
then again,
that's for
if
sure.
they had done like reconnaissance and stuff like that, and like actually gathered like intel on what was actually happening, and the stories are wrong that they just kind of busted in there with no probable cause or whatever, then W Cop or whatever, I don't know. Maybe still an L Cop for destroying his property, but like W Cop moment if they actually like did their research, but I don't know how accurate it is. But yeah. On that note, welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 2. This is
Yeah.
episode 2.
Episode dose.
Episode two.
Episode 2. We did not follow through with
Nombre
the
dos.
Caden and the mask trope, so Caden is no longer going to be in the mask. So that will not be something.
Yeah,
you
that
have
was
to,
just a little
yeah.
little funny that I was doing.
Yeah, he just got to throw on a mask, and we thought it'd be funny if he kept it on that
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, you
So,
just got pranked.
Yeah. So, merging
Back.
into
I'm working on the
Falcon, right?
Millennium Falcon.
Lego
yes.
set.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's great. It's great.
How's that
We like
going?
it.
Actually,
Good.
you wanna
I just
turn your
snapped on
camera
the middle.
turn the camera and show the audience what it looks like right now. I can actually zoom in on your screen.
Okay.
So
Spoiler alert. Parker, I want you to blur my feet. People have to pay for these pictures. This is the progress that I have so far.
that's looking
I'm
pretty
about
good.
26 hours in.
Wow.
It's really, really time consuming. I've watched about a season and a half of Better Call Saul, like in the background while watching this or building this, and I've watched like 3 or 4 movies off of my list of movies I need to want to watch.
Whoa.
So it's been actually very productive.
Speaking of Better Call Saul, that's actually a very good way to merge into that topic. So Caden here has never seen Better Call Saul, nor has he seen Breaking Bad. And I have something to admit. I've never watched Breaking Bad. I've never watched Breaking Bad either, but I have watched the entirety, up to 5 seasons of Better Call Saul. I have not seen the 6th season yet. It's on my list of things I need to watch soon. But Mac, do you want to talk about a little bit of Better Call Saul and just kind of make Caden feel like an outsider?
I would. I
Yeah.
would love to.
Inform me.
It's so for right now it's great. I guess would be good to talk about spoilers. Even though I'm on like season 4, but yeah, I'm on
So-
like the 2nd episode of season 4 right now.
Yeah. So yeah,
What were you gonna say,
spoiler
Parker?
alert if anyone hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
And if when Caden watches it eventually, because Caden's going to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Yep.
watch it.
Yep. But it's right now. It's awesome. They just like they gave Hector Salamanca the placebo pills, so he had a heart attack, and he's in the hospital right now.
Yeah.
Love Nacho. Nacho's great.
He is my favorite character.
Nacho is so cool. What else? We've got Mike, who is now laundering his money through the one place. I can't remember what the name of it is. Let's see. Jimmy.
It's about Los Polos Hermanos.
No, he's not laundering it through there yet. He's kind of like working with Fring now, so he just left his job in that one booth at the parking garage. But he's working under Fring now.
Yeah.
But he's like having his checks cashed under that one company. I don't know.
I don't know.
What
I
else?
can't think of the name.
Yeah, I can't think of the name either. Which is sad because I'm watching it and I should know it. But yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saul just had Chuck die. Thank you. Chuck is dead. Hate Chuck.
Dude.
Chuck deserves to die.
Chuck's
an awful guy.
Chuck is just an L character, but
Yeah.
whoever I don't know who
Spawn.
plays him. I don't actually know who plays him, but whoever plays him plays. He is very good at making you hate him.
Fantastic character of Chuck. And he played it very well. So
Yeah.
much love to that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now it's great. I'm liking the show. I don't know how I feel about Kim. Kim is just kind of there. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'd like her further on, but I mean,
I find
Kim's
Kim
kinda
kind of
meh.
annoying. A little bit.
He's a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I mean, come on, just let Jimmy do his thing. Why are you always getting up in his business?
Yeah, always like holding back Jimmy.
Yeah.
Don't be holding back Jimmy, Kim.
Yeah.
You understand?
Get out of Jimmy's business. Good grief.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah. I love Better Call Saul. I actually got my parents to watch it.
Fantastic.
I've gotten my parents to watch
Oh,
Better
you
Call
did?
Saul. Yeah, and they actually, I don't know what's up with them. I don't know how they have so much time on their hands, but they sped ran through Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. I haven't even seen Breaking Bad yet, but they sped ran that show in a good
I watched
2-3 weeks. They were done. It was crazy.
Holy cow.
Both of them or just the one?
Just both of them. They watch all the shows they watch together. So I think I think every night they were watching like 4 to 5 episodes just because they have a lot of free time after work. So
Dang.
and I think my mom cooks a lot less dinner since I'm like working every night, so she doesn't cook dinner nearly as much because my dad is like never hungry. So
Can't relate.
I'm always hungry. I'm pretty sure that was the only reason she ever cooked dinner is because I was just always hungry.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I watched Breaking Bad before I watched Better Call Saul, and I am glad that I did because it gives a lot more insight on kind of some of the things that's going on, like how Mike came to work with Los Pollos Hermanos. Just now, how Hector ends up in a wheelchair because I'm pretty sure that the heart attack that he has puts him in the wheelchair or a stroke or whatever it is. But yeah, it's giving a lot of insight, and we like that.
Yeah. I'm excited when I get around to season 6 of Better Call Saul. I plan on finishing Better Call Saul before I go and watch Breaking Bad. And then what's it? El Camino? Isn't that after Breaking Bad? It's like a movie about Jesse.
So yeah, I watched Breaking Bad all the way through, watched El Camino, and then I came back and watched Better Call Saul. So if I had to do it again, I probably would have started with Better Call Saul and then went to Breaking Bad and then went to El Camino, kind of like chronological order.
Yeah. I mean, Bob Odenkirk is an amazing actor. He is so good at what he does. You know who else is really good? Howard. I don't know who plays him. Howard
Yes.
is an amazing character. I love how he goes from a character who you could just absolutely hate so much, but then the moment you find out that Chuck is actually like the big bad guy, you just come to really like Howard. Because then you just realize Howard was just trying to make it to where Jimmy didn't hate Chuck. Like, Howard was honestly just trying to save
Howard's
their
awesome.
relationship. Like, Howard's honestly a great character.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we see more of that because right now he's kind of in like a really big grieving state after losing Chuck.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean,
Yeah.
heck, Chuck, frick that Chuck guy.
Yeah, Chuck's kind of a loser.
Yeah, Chuck's a stinky head.
I'll be honest, the scene where where Chuck falls inside like the copy business or whatever and hits his head, I was laughing. I was laughing.
I died.
The zoom
I was in the break room at work, like on lunch break, whenever that happened.
Yeah.
I was sitting there like trying to hold it together because it was hilarious.
The
he, like,
zoom in
he,
on
like,
his
slowly
face
falls over.
is so funny.
They zoom in on his face as he hits the side of the counter and falls on the ground.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
That was such a
So
funny
This peak comedy.
thing. Okay, so I think that's enough about Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. I don't want to spoil too much for Caden if he ever does get around to watching it. He needs to.
Yeah, let's be honest.
I'm
Caden's
kind
probably
of,
never gonna watch it.
I'm kind of paying attention, but I'm also trying to drown out what seems to be the important stuff, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so something I have teased to you guys. Caden knows about this. Mac has not heard a word about this yet. EDP 445.
I remember you
He's
kind of
back.
mentioning that.
Yeah, he's so
Yeah,
he's back on the
almost
news.
so almost every year EDP tries to make like a comeback in some way to the internet.
We don't want him back.
And you know, although yes, he did some horrible stuff, but I think we can all admit EDP was funny.
No.
EDP was funny back in the day.
He was incredibly funny back in the day.
But
I
he's
no
funny
longer
before
support
what
him
he
because
did.
yeah, I can't support his
before what he
actions.
did.
I cannot support his actions, but he was
yeah.
a funny guy.
I don't watch him anymore. I don't want to watch him anymore.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly mad at the guy for doing what he did because not only did he do it once, he did it twice and got caught the second time as well.
Yeah.
And the guy is still not in prison.
Yeah, well, the only reason he's not in prison is because it was like a YouTube investigation, and at that point, cops can't really do much. They can't do much with evidence that a YouTuber gathered. So, his comeback this time was he tried to like expose almost Chet Goldstein, which is the guy who led the investigation on him on YouTube. He basically tried to expose him and tell everybody on the internet that that this video of him meeting with Chet Goldstein, thinking it was like a kid, was actually a like scripted thing, and that Chet Goldstein told him that he was basically just gonna like make it up on the go, and that he just needed to play along. And like he's got like this email from Chet Goldstein saying all this stuff from like a person who is claiming to be Chet Goldstein. But one of the funniest things is that Moist Critical Charlie in his video, like explaining the whole situation, zooms in on the name Chet Goldstein on the email.
Oh my goodness.
And you can see
that was so
that
funny.
it's actually just a photoshopped image. And EDP failed to cover up the original name completely. So it's obviously photoshopped. And
It's so bad.
really funny.
It's such a poor editing
Yeah.
that he did.
Like, it was
Of
honestly
course.
one of the dumbest things I have ever seen.
Do you think
Man.
he probably meant to do that? Now, like,
No.
say, like,
There's no way he meant to do that because it just tears apart his
I
whole
think
story.
that every time
maybe
time he attempts to make a comeback on the internet, he's trying to get clout
Yeah.
because that's what blows him up. That's what gets him the views. No
Yeah.
matter how bad this crap he does is, it gets him views.
Well,
And
honestly,
Yeah.
like he is some of these attempts to make a comeback to the internet have been funnier than his old videos. Like,
Yeah.
some of these are
He's just-
honestly some of the dumbest things I have ever heard anyone trying to attempt. Because I can't even imagine, like, what you must be thinking while you're trying to convince an entire populace that 2 years after you've been exposed for being a pedophile, that you're actually innocent, and that this guy who does this investigation
Yeah.
is actually just trying to frame you and trying to set you up.
Yeah.
Well,
EDP
actually,
EDP
it
called it
was,
a setup, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a setup. It was he had like the email that he
Yeah.
photoshopped, but he had it where they wanted him to go to that location where
Yeah.
they filmed it.
Yeah, the
But
the
they wanted
AAA
him
or
to play
whatever.
they wanted him to play a role that they didn't tell him yet until they would get there. And basically in the email, basically they just told him to play it off. Like they he said that he was really impressed by his workings in like a documentary, which I don't recall any documentaries to my knowledge that EDP was in
Yeah.
prior to that video. So I don't know. I don't know where he's getting this or where Chet Goldstein is getting this. If
He's
that really
pulling
was
it
Chet Goldstein
out of
saying that.
thin air because he just wants his community back.
Guys,
Well, yeah,
He's pulling it out
that
of
was his
thin
income.
air.
no, I think you
That
guys.
was his income.
No. I don't
I
think you
mean,
guys
he
understand.
can't work anywhere else.
I think EDP might be innocent. I mean, he brought some pretty good
No.
evidence to the table. Come on, you can't
Uh,
tell me this evidence wasn't good. I mean,
it was a solid effort, but no, it's probably not convincing.
yeah,
Not to the slightest.
yeah. I don't think he truly convinced anybody that he's actually innocent. I mean,
Yeah.
might have been one of the worst attempts to come back yet that he's had.
Yeah.
But after
Yeah.
that,
But it was funny.
speaking of
It made me ha ha.
speaking of
just a really pleasant situation overall, you know.
speaking of comebacks and redemption arcs specifically, Kanye is in his redemption arc, and I think Mac wanted to lead us on this one because he knows what he's talking about
Yes,
here.
this one is very important to me. It's not actually. I don't really like Kanye. So supposedly the thing going around on the internet now is that Kanye has been reformed and is no longer following Hitler's ideals, all because he saw Jonah Hill portray his character in 21 Jump Street, and that completely changed his mind about following Hitler. And I think that it is absolutely hilarious.
What was it that his tweet actually said? Do you want me to pull it up and read
I
his
don't-
tweet? I'll pull it up and read his tweet real
Yeah.
quick. Because that was one
Yeah.
of the funniest
There's
things.
memes all over the
I have
internet now
read.
about it. And I think that it is absolutely hilarious that
Did
this
you-
guy's like, you know what? I'm jumping off the Hitler bandwagon. I'm gonna follow Jonah Hill.
Wonder
You
what Jonah
sent
Hill
it. You
has
sent
to
it in our
say-
group chat,
has to
right?
say about that.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
You sent it to the group chat. Let me get it loaded. Hold on, my internet's
The
being slow
meme?
because of the storm.
Does
No, it's like
anyone
his
know
actual
if
This meme.
does anyone know if Jonah Hill has responded to that?
Has Jonah
I
Hill
hope that he had.
made a response to Kanye's redemption?
My response to Kanye.
If I was in Jonah Hill's shoes right now, I wouldn't say anything back. I would just keep my mouth closed.
I would be
Getting
too
involved in
embarrassed.
something
You know,
crazy
maybe
as Kanye West is not a good look.
maybe I'm kind of reaching a little bit far here, but maybe Kanye's just trying to get on 2022 Jump Street. You know, maybe the sequel.
22
You know.
Jump
I thought
Street's
that they
already
already
out.
made a 22 Jump
They already
Street.
made a 22 Jump Street.
Yeah, they already made a 22 Jump Street.
The 23 Jump Street. My
Yeah,
bad.
they have
You-
not made a 23 Jump Street yet.
There you go. And
I
he's
think
the
it's
special
genius.
guest.
Hold on, I'm trying to find this post.
Yeah, I kind
My
of
name
forgot
is
that. I kind of forgot that they made a second movie to that. It's been so long that I've seen both of them.
yeah. The first one was great, and I don't know that I have seen 22 Jump Street,
I
but
remember stuff
if
from the
I
first one
can
because
find it, I'll watch
that's where all like the OG like memes I remember came from, and a little bit from
it.
the
Yeah.
second one, but not as much.
Okay, hold on. I'm pulling it up right
Yeah.
now. Here it is. Okay, so this is what he said. So he put up a photo of one of the posters for 21 Jump Street, and his these were his words. Watching Jonah Hill on 21 Jump Street made me like Jewish people again. No one should take anger against one or two individuals and transform that into hatred towards millions of innocent people. No Christian could be labeled anti-Semite knowing Jesus is a Jew. Thank you, Jonah Hill. I love you.
Well said. Well said.
It's so funny because like this whole time, bro was ranting about man, I completely support all of what Hitler has done, and I will stand by his side the whole time. And
Yeah.
then just some random day after he has lost all of his sponsorships and all of his funding
He
from
kicks
like
back and watches
Adidas
21 Jump Street.
and lost Kim Kardashian, and bro was hitting a midlife crisis. He's like, you know what? I'm done being the bad guy. I want that Jonah Hill guy. And now he's reformed. Bro has been washed and now he's clean.
He
Bathed,
is he is
yeah,
genuinely
bathed
something
in the
else.
waters. Now he has been washed. Now his sin has been washed away.
He's genuinely one of the most interesting people ever.
Yeah, I
He's gone
really do think that he's got a mental disorder or something. Like something
he's
is not right in Kanye's head.
he's gone
I
through more phases
yeah.
recently than a high school girl.
Yeah, I
So
agree. I agree.
it's genuinely so funny. He is just like honestly high schoolers, where high schoolers will do anything they can to fit in with whatever group wants to be
Yeah,
accepting.
whatever.
So he is
Trying to
he
get
is
attention.
trying he's trying his hardest to fit in with whatever group will let him fit in. And he is honestly
Yeah,
he's putting up a fair attempt, but it's honestly just funny. He is much like EDP, where these attempts are very funny.
yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, it's tough. I'm gonna shut up before I say something stupid that I'm going to regret later on. I, yeah, I was gonna say, I am more backed behind Kanye than I am EDP, but that would also mean that I am like backing up Hitler, and I'm not. Yeah, I take back what I was going to say. I
Make
apologize to any viewers who are
We
going to be aggravated.
make up your
I
mind,
don't
Mac.
stand by either of them. But if I had to
Just
choose one, yeah, never mind. Zip.
yeah.
Mac, you're really
Maybe you
pushing it
should
there.
keep that.
You're trying to push
Maybe you
either
should keep
being
that
a
whole
Nazi
story.
or a pedophile, so you better be
Yeah,
careful with what you say.
you're kind of in between two hard places right there.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks
So
for showing me my place is trash.
yeah, I just honestly, Kanye's an enigma, and
Yeah. Could you repeat that?
he is definitely something else. Um.
Let's get into the next topic.
Okay,
This one's been
so
running on for a little bit.
yeah, I think next topic. Do we want to go ahead and do some Walmart horror stories?
You
I
know,
don't care.
I had one before we started the stream, and then we got big into talking about Kanye, and the cuckoo bird has left the nest.
So, do we want to wait on that? Give you some time to think about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Give it a little bit more time.
Okay, so I think we could just talk about a couple movies that have come out recently.
Okay.
I think we could start with.
Yeah, there's been a few.
I think we can start with Shazam 2. A 51% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not a great score.
Yeah, that's not great.
It was not
I have not watched it
so.
yet,
From viewing it,
as
it
well
was,
as the other movie that I think we're going to talk about.
It was definitely geared towards kids, which I mean, you can't expect. Sorry, you can't expect much. It's Shazam. He's supposed to be a kid who's an adult superhero, so you can't expect much from it. But I think honestly, it was like, just like a really dumb movie. Like the villains in it were really dumb. Like the villains were just like very.
Give your best impression of the villain in the movie.
It's a woman. I ain't trying
Oh.
that. I ain't trying that. That'll get us canceled.
Yeah.
No, so like what was it in literature class in school? What is it? Round and what's the other type of character you have? You have round and something. Round and flat, is that what it's called? Characters? It's like a literature term.
I don't know.
I don't know. It was like a literature term.
I don't know.
And I think she would be considered a flat character. It's technically 3 villains, but it's like there's like one who is like leading the other 2. She is just a very interesting character. Like the only way I could
Who
describe
who plays the villain?
I don't know who plays her. I'll be honest, and I probably should know who plays her, but I don't. But like the whole villain trope behind it is, oh, you have that power? Well, I can counteract it with this. That's it. That's all they
it's
really
like one
do.
of those movies.
Yeah, there's not like a real power struggle between them. It's just like them getting a one up on each other the whole time. Just back and forth. That's really it. And then the siblings, I don't even remember what the siblings did in the movie. What the other Shazam kids did. I don't even know what they did in the whole movie. Like I just don't remember it for some reason. But like it was not.
So what you're saying is it was basically a complete letdown compared to the first Shazam. I
Yeah.
thought the first Shazam was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty funny movie. But like my original rating for the first Shazam movie was like a 7 out of 10, but this movie makes it look like a 10 out of 10 movie. Like
Really? Like that bad?
This movie is like a 4 out of 10 at best.
So it's that bad.
Like it was
Yikes.
not great in my opinion, which then again, if I go and ask any kid I know and I sat them down and let them watch the new Shazam movie, they would probably rate it really high because it's probably funny to little kids. But just to me it wasn't that funny. But I don't know. And I would say I'm a pretty big DC fan. But I think that
Yeah,
DC in my opinion, DC makes really good shows. Like The Flash and Arrow, which in more modern times The Flash has gotten pretty bad. But Flash's first like 4 seasons were pretty solid.
Yeah, I remember like the other day we were just talking about how you wanted to convince me to watch Arrow.
Yeah.
I think
Arrow.
it was yesterday actually.
Yeah, Arrow's still through season 5. It's still really solid, but I don't remember the last few seasons very well. I haven't rewatched them yet. But once I get through them and rewatch them, I'm sure I'll understand if I like them or not. But up through season 5, it's still really solid. But like, they make really good shows. And I used to think that Marvel made really bad shows, but they made really good movies. But right now, they have been making some pretty good shows as well, other than She-Hulk. She-Hulk was the biggest letdown of a TV show in modern time. Watching She-Hulk twerk with is it Megan Thee Stallion that she twerks with in the show?
I think so. I'm not
Actually,
haven't
one of the most deplorable moments on live TV, or not live, but on TV of the 21st century. One of the worst moments.
It's all because Tony Stark died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the endgame effect that we talked about last week. It's the endgame
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah, I still believe that.
Yeah. I don't think I've watched a Marvel show. So, Mom and Dad canceled Disney Plus, which
Oh
I'm
my
very
goodness.
sad about because
I
that's how I
cannot believe
watched
this.
all of my Star Wars stuff.
Cannot believe it.
I think the very last Marvel show that I watched all the way through was WandaVision, and that was it.
Really?
Like, there have been so many shows that have come out since then for Marvel.
WandaVision was great.
And that's also, Yeah, but that also like limits my Star Wars stuff too. Like I haven't watched any of Mando season 3 since that came out. I haven't watched any of the Bad Batch season 2. Yeah, I haven't watched any of that stuff.
I'll have to give you my
I
Disney
actually
Plus
I kind of
login.
mooched off of that would be fantastic. I kind of mooched off of Caden's before his mom canceled his, and we watched Tales of
Yeah,
the Jedi, and that was really good. But that was
yeah, it
also a
was
while
really good.
ago and
Yeah.
I do recommend it
very
if anyone
good.
doesn't watch that show to watch it because it does fill in a lot of gaps.
Yeah. Like a problem I have with modern television is how every show has to get so political. Like, it just be a TV show.
Yeah,
Because honestly, I don't care
they
about your
really do have to
What
political.
push stuff forward.
Like, I don't
They
care about
really are
your.
what
pushing stuff.
Hmm?
what show or movie are you talking about specifically? Like the last one you've talked about that's been like political.
Like, okay, so like Falcon and Winter Soldier, the second Marvel TV show. Um,
Hmm.
it was pretty great throughout the whole show until like the last few episodes when it was like it got really political. And it's with a lot of modern television. Like, honestly, I don't care about your political affiliation. It does not bother me what you believe in. I'm gonna have my beliefs. Someone else is gonna have their beliefs. You're not gonna
Yeah,
change
you
my
can't sway
beliefs.
someone's
Yeah,
mind.
you're not gonna change my belief with a silly little TV show. But but it ruins the show when all you're focusing on is like in a Marvel, what I expect out of a Marvel show is action. I don't expect to be getting a political lesson from the guy who plays Falcon, Sam. I don't want a political lesson from him. I want him to punch someone. I don't want to be
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
I don't want to be told terrorism is bad, but this person is just misunderstood because they're a foreigner. So we should give them an exception for being a terrorist. Like, what kind of dumb
Yeah,
viewpoint were they trying to push with that? Like, I just can't understand the minds of the people who are running Disney right now. But then again, apparently they're still successful. So they're doing something right somehow. I just think that most shows nowadays are just like they try to push things a little too far. Like, I don't care, really. Like, one thing I've never understood is this one might be a little controversial. I don't know, but like
I
if
don't know
you
if you can be talking
yeah,
about that then,
I don't
Parker.
know. Have you ever noticed that in almost every show that has come out in the past, at least I would say 6 or 7 years, even like the older shows, as they've gotten more seasons, they always have like that one gay character, but they are like really expressively gay.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
honestly,
yeah,
if you're gay, I don't care. Be gay. Cool.
yeah, yeah,
Cool. Good for
yeah.
you.
I
You have
that's
found
kind of the
something you
same.
love. But I don't care. Like, I don't want to see you like
Yeah,
having just gay tropes all the time. It's not that funny. It doesn't make for good television,
yeah.
in my opinion.
I completely agree. As controversial as that is, I completely agree.
Yeah,
Like if you're gay, if you're lesbian, good for you. Like fantastic. But don't be rubbing it in my face the whole time. I don't want to. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
It does.
it
It
just
doesn't do me any good to rub it in my face. It's just gonna make me want to hate that show even more because instead of seeing someone get punched in the face like you were just talking about, it's just gonna be like with Star Wars. With Star Wars in the last movie, I guess it would be I, Rise of Skywalker. That one. It's so bad that I forgot the name of it.
yeah.
Um, they were thinking about canceling the whole movie because they had two pilots that were male kissing in the background. It's
yeah.
like I don't
Wasn't
care.
that
They were in the
wasn't that in
background.
like the celebration scene at the end?
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think.
and
Yeah,
and
I do
yeah, it
remember
was like
that being
two,
in the headlines when that
or
movie
maybe
was
it was
new.
like, yeah, it's like two male pilots or two female pilots kissing. Like I could care less. But the thing that I don't care about it like as much as the other ones is that they're doing it in the background.
Yeah.
Like
Like one of
like it's
the
it's not like in my face kissing. Like I don't yeah,
yeah, like one
I
of the
don't know.
things that like
I
has
I
always
feel like this
bothered
is a
me.
really hard thing to talk about because it's just going to bring up a lot of arguments and controversy. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean
like
like
to talk about this stuff a
eh,
whole lot. But
yeah, I mean like one of the huge things about it is just like like any character who's gay, and I can't think of any show that honestly nowadays isn't like this, but like if you have any character that's gay, they do this thing where it's like they could be having like this really cool moment, but then they ruin it by like, oh hey, have I mentioned in the last 5 minutes that I'm actually homosexual? I don't care. You had a really cool moment going and you just ruined it by needing to bring up your sexuality. I don't care. If you're gay, you're gay. If you're not gay, then you're not gay. It's like, it's not something that I'm not going to change any opinions I have on anything if you push it on me. Like, I just don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like by them having to mention that, that the character that they're portraying is gay every 5 minutes, it's like, oh my gosh, he's only mentioned it 10 times. Maybe that means that I should come out.
Yeah.
It's like, no one's gonna think that.
I almost forgot this character was gay. They've mentioned it for the 10th time.
And another thing that I don't like. Sorry, I was just gonna say another thing following up with that, and then like within the last 6 to 7 years and adding those characters and stuff, also ruining shows. In my opinion, ruining shows. Some people may like them, like take for instance the new Scooby-Doo show that they revived.
Oh, Velma.
Yeah.
Oh, that was horrible. Oh my goodness.
Where they completely
changed
the characters and everything on like, their personality,
and they like
their just everything. I mean, their race, their views.
It's
just
so
to make
dumb.
it more, I guess, just to make it more like, acceptable.
Yeah.
Is what I would word it as. Which I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just I feel like you should leave shows like that back in the past as they were, and not bring them back up.
I think if you're gonna reboot a show, you should change stuff about it.
Yeah, because I mean, you're definitely gonna get the community very against something like that if you botch the show up like that.
And it's not like Velma being black in the show was a bad thing, because they honestly still could have made an amazing show with her being black. It just was the fact that the whole point of it was like, I'm black, and like, but like that shouldn't have been the point of the show. The point of the show should have been developing like Velma's character, but it was more about her political ideals than it was about just having a fun, silly show about solving mysteries. It was more about political ideals, and it just ruins modern
Can we not
TV.
talk about the political and economic state of the world right now?
Is it depressing you, Mac, while you're trying to build your Falcon?
No, I'm quoting what's his face? I forgot his name. Jaden Smith.
Actually, I forgot about this. For some reason, you saying that made me think of something. I think there was a bit of an update on the Charlie Sneeko stuff.
Oh, was there?
Oh, there was.
I think there was a slight update, but like it wasn't like directly between them. It was because do you guys know who Meat Canyon is?
Oh,
yes.
I was about to mention that. Have you guys seen the video?
Yeah, the Charlie Sneeko Meat Canyon video. It was so funny. It was hilarious. But I think Sneeko reacted to
my
it.
favorite part. My favorite part is whenever. My favorite part is whenever Sneeko's on the camera talking to Charlie, and his chat, and he's like, all right, guys, what should I say back to him? And then he goes, you soy boy.
Yeah.
and then they hear Charlie, Charlie comes through the house and knocks on his bedroom door. He's like, guys, he's at my bedroom door. And then Sneeko goes, you better watch out. I've got my pistol and clip ready. And then what was it? Like Charlie kicks down the door and goes,
yeah, he does.
A mag.
Yeah. And he's just like standing in the ambiance and through the hallway there.
Yeah, so I don't think Sneeko thought that video was funny. To my knowledge, I think he reacted to it and did not think it's funny. Well, because he does this thing, or he for some reason thinks that everybody's trying to cancel him, like all the time. Like he believes that everybody is just like trying to, because he's got like that. He's like been red pilled or whatever. He's a classic Andrew Tate follower.
The
which
Matrix
honestly,
is after him.
yeah, like he thinks that like the Matrix is trying to pull him back into the simulation and stuff, and it's it's funny.
I mean,
he's escaped the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all disrespect to the man. I don't like him.
Yeah.
It's probably because he likes the movie Cuties, and no one in their right mind likes the movie Cuties because it generalizes little girls in gymnastic suits doing dances.
You know who
and it's
would
a
like the movie
pedophile haven.
Cuties? Do you know who would like the movie Cuties? EDP.
Who? Yeah. I'm sure that he's got it downloaded before they remove the movie.
Oh, dude, I know he probably DM'd the director's cut probably.
He's like, bro, this is good stuff. I need more.
Like the unrated cut or something.
He's like, I'm fiending. I need more Cuties.
When EDP watches Cuties, he eats an entire baker's dozen of cupcakes. Let's be honest. He sits down, he plops down with his baker's dozen of cupcakes, turns on good old Cuties on his 16 gigabyte flash drive he got from Walmart, and he plugs it into his old computer. He grabs his mouse, which is just slimy, because you just know his mouse is slimy, and he presses play, and he sits back on his movie night and just watches Cuties. Well, actually, no, he's probably watching it while he's taking a poop, let's be honest. While he's flooding the toilet.
Oh yeah, he's got to stream it on his iPad.
Yeah,
right in front of him. It's kicked up on his knees there in front of him.
Yeah. So yeah, what was even the topic we were on before we divulged into that?
My goodness!
I think we were talking about Shazam, weren't we?
Movies. Yeah, talking about movies.
I forgot.
So yeah,
we went down the little slippery slope there.
Yeah.
Oh.
The other movie I think we wanted to talk about was John Wick 4, which I don't believe any of us has actually seen. But what I know about John Wick 4 is that apparently it was an amazing movie. It has unlike Shazam, it has a 95%.
What John Wick movie so far hasn't been bad. Let's be honest here.
That's honestly so true.
I think that every John Wick movie that has come out so far has been awesome. And there's one reason and one reason only for that. Well, there's multiple reasons, but it's because it's Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Who doesn't like Keanu Reeves?
Listen,
he's one of the nicest guys of all time.
Anytime a movie is bad and it has Keanu Reeves in it, it's not because of Keanu Reeves. It's because of the movie being bad.
It's because of whatever else happened in the movie. It's not
the new Matrix movie. I've heard wasn't that great.
I haven't watched it yet.
I've heard that the new Matrix wasn't amazing, or maybe it was just it wasn't as good as the original ones, which I think is if you make a new reboot or whatever of a series and it's not as good as its IP, its original content and stuff, then it's instantly just kind of thrown in the trash. I think that's kind of how it works nowadays.
Yeah. The old Matrix movies are great though. I like the old Matrix.
The old Matrix is good, but John Wick 4 has a 95 on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's apparently really good.
Yeah, I plan on getting to that because I've watched all the first 3 ones.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I do plan on watching it. Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that people are enjoying it because I was kind of iffy on if they were gonna botch this one up or they were gonna hit another homer,
No,
they always the community with this one.
Yeah, actually,
whenever Keanu Reeves was being interviewed, he said that him and the director for these movies wanted to keep these going for as long as they could. He was talking about getting to John Wick 15 or something like that.
Yeah,
the only reason that they cut back was because of COVID, and so it pushed back their production time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's the only reason why they.
John Wick is just going to turn into the new Need for Speed franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious
actually good.
Fast and Furious, not Need for Speed.
Okay,
I got video games in my head right now.
Good.
Where has
I have never watched a Need for Speed or not Need for Speed. Hayden, I've never watched a Fast and Furious movie. I've only ever watched Hobbs and Shaw. I haven't watched any of the Fast and Furious movies.
Really?
Yep.
So yeah, the last Fast movie I've watched was Hobbs and Shaw, but like, what are these new Fast and Furious movies? Like, what's the one where they go to space? Don't they go to space in one?
That's the latest one. I
Is that
think.
Fast X?
They're so
number
outrageous.
9. Number 9.
Is it Fast 9? I thought the Fast X was.
They're on 10 right now.
Yeah.
I think.
It's so outrageous that it's stupid. Like in the last one, they were in Dom's Charger, of course, because he always has that Charger in every single movie, and he never gets even a scratch on the paint of that car.
Somehow.
Even though he goes through multiple explosions on the daily. But like in the last trailer I watched for the movie, I think it was at the Super Bowl or like watching the Super Bowl ads. He was like in midair going off of a cliff, and somehow this one grappling hook in the middle of nowhere flung out and grabbed the bumper of his car, and held up the whole thing to swing it around this bridge and put him back on the road. And you know why? You know why he lived? You know why he lived? Because of family.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you what. After Paul Walker died, they just decided that everything was on the table for what they could make out of these movies.
It has become a crapshoot, and they know that people will buy it because rip Paul Walker.
No, I'm pretty sure they have hired just comedians to write the scripts for these movies, because there is no way
Chat GPT.
they have Chat GPT writing these movies, because there's no way any sensible human sat down and thought that sending Dominic Toretto up to space was a good idea. Like, what in the world is going on?
Let's not forget that they put.
It's to save the Earth.
They put the. Let's not forget that they put the John Cena into these movies now.
He's
like, where's the guy at?
he's flying to Cybertron. He's getting Optimus.
Oh no!
He's trying to get the Allspark.
No, I'm telling you what. Fast and Furious has gone to it's crazy where they've made it. You know what? Fast and Furious, one of the few movies that I know of that isn't super political. And honestly, I could sit down and watch all the Fast movies and laugh at every single one, because they have gotten so obnoxiously
because they're just
weird.
Garbage.
Yeah. No, Fast and Furious has turned into Sharknado. Have you guys ever watched the entirety of Sharknado series?
I've watched like the first one.
No,
like
okay,
original.
so like Sharknado 1, 2, and 3 were all somewhat, and I'm gonna say probably a really like controversial opinion. They were somewhat reasonable, because they did explore the idea like what would happen if a bunch of sharks got sucked up a tornado and it went on land, because that was kind of a funny idea. But like, I don't know if you remember this, like if you guys have seen like the later ones, but what's the one where they find out that the reason Sharknadoes happen is because like underneath Stonehenge there's like this ritual thing that can start a Sharknado? Like, do you guys remember that? That was like Sharknado 6 or something like that. It was a crazy
I haven't
movie.
gotten that far. I just watched the first
and
one.
then his son
after that.
Yeah, and then like his son believes that his mother is a shark. It is like one of the most those movies made me go brain dead watching them. It was some of the funniest content I think I've witnessed.
It's his mom's a shark.
The chainsaw shark.
Ma, new Sharknado lore.
Yeah, new Sharknado lore. Get over here.
There she is. Cops. Go and get her.
No, they need to do a Sharknado crossover with Fast and Furious. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Have Dominic Toretto fist fighting a shark, and he's just like talking about family the whole time.
Well, he's got a
helmet on the shark, so the sharks can go up into space.
Well, do you guys remember? I don't remember what Sharknado movie it is. Like, where they're inside the baseball stadium, and that one guy he's a real baseball player. He stars in the movie, and he picks up like a giant baseball bat, and he hits a shark like it's a baseball, and like hits a home run with him. Like, it is some of the most interesting movies I think I've ever watched.
No, I don't remember that one.
It's great.
What movies
It's
I
that
great.
remember that too well. Those movies are honestly super
Yeah.
funny.
Well,
But like,
All right.
gotta love them.
I've got the next talking point.
what's that?
I still haven't thought of something to do for I still haven't thought of
what's the
something to do for
time
this.
check on this
What's the
before we get
time
on to
check?
the next one?
I think we might be getting close to an hour.
Close to an hour. All right, yeah.
Getting close to an hour?
Um.
More than an hour.
Okay. Well, I guess I could just kind of like check real quick. We're at 50 minutes.
Oh, okay.
No way.
So, and we
Uh,
still got
well-
we still got like 4 more topics, but I figure our Walmart stories will probably take the longest. So.
Yeah, they probably
Probably.
will. Well, anyway, the new topic that I'm going to introduce, I don't think it's on the list, but recent gamer update.
Oh. Yeah.
So for those
No.
viewers that
It's
do
on the
not
gamer
know,
news.
for those gamers that
I'm intrigued.
don't know about me, I am strictly a Switch gamer now. I sold my Xbox and got a Switch. I don't regret it. It's awesome. I am playing Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Fantastic game. I love it very much. But for those of you that have actually played Breath of the Wild, there's these creatures in there called Lynels. They're basically like a centaur, except instead of it being half man, half horse, it's half horse, half lion, and they're equipped with a shield, a bow, and a sword. And they are one of the most difficult things to kill in the game. So like they're not even a big boss; they're just like a random NPC that comes around. But yeah, I had more trouble fighting this Lionel than I did the actual boss of the game. So the actual boss, I spent about 15 minutes beating him. This Lionel encounter that I had, an hour and a half. Yep, an hour and a
Oh,
half. Lots of
Max a
retries.
gamer.
I was
dude.
incredibly mad. Like I was like shouting at the top of my lungs. I was like, "Link, drink your health potion. Come on." Yeah, I was a little angry. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. I also just acquired New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Can be great. Can be great. Me and Gus play that game on the Wii, and so I figured the newer one would be awesome to play. So that's about it for gamer news from Mac. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to gamer news?
I got something, I guess. Today, actually, just right before we recorded, I installed a new game, and so did Caden, and that is FPS Chess, which I think was a pretty small game for a while, but then Ludwig, the YouTuber, kind of made it bigger because he found it on Steam and he started playing it. And so for anyone who doesn't know what FPS Chess is, it's basically a game where it's you start off playing chess like normal, but whenever you want to take someone's piece, it puts you into a first-person shooter mode. So Kate and I were playing each other. So like the queen, she is probably the most overpowered character. She just has a Gatling gun that has no cooldown and infinite ammo. So all you have to do to get the other piece dead and claim their piece is just spray and have somewhat decent aim. But that's basically it. You just play chess
Yeah.
until you checkmate the other person. And that's it. It's basically normal chess, but you get a little more fun out of it. And it's probably one of the more fun games I've played recently. But that's my gamer update.
So how does I've thought about downloading this on my laptop. How does this game work? Like I mean I know you just explained it, but so like you go into battle and then like what are the different pieces and what do they do specifically?
So like the pawn has a long rifle.
Yeah.
The rook has a sniper rifle.
Wait, by long rifle do you mean like just like a musket?
It's like a musket. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much because what you can do, there's like a charging mode where you can melee, I think,
Yeah.
and then the bishop has flying ability and a blunderbuss, so like a shotgun, and then the queen, as Parker stated, has a Gatling gun and can throw other pieces at you and fly. And then the king has the giant sword, the giant claymore, and he can uh, like basically use the force to like attract you to him. And then he can also like slam dunk on you. And then there's the rook, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
You can build a wall and you can grapple to anywhere, provided that it's cooled down or whatnot. There is a cooldown to all these power ups, by the way. You can't just spam a wall across the map. But and then you get a sniper with the rook, and then the knight you get the bow and arrow, and then you get the dash, and then you get this some sort of like power up like arrow. I honestly don't know what it does. It just makes your arrows glow. I don't know if that's like damage boost or anything. I literally only played the game for 30 minutes. And then who else am I forgetting?
I think that's it.
Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah.
It sounds very fun. I'll
Yeah.
definitely consider downloading.
It's free to play.
Yeah.
It's been out for a while.
Like that?
I'm sure anyone
Like
who
that?
watches this probably has heard of FPS chess, but if you haven't, I would recommend it.
So
It's just kind of a weird but also fun game, you know.
so
I'm
I
kind of that
guess
one friend that doesn't like to spend money on games because I've had experiences in the past where everybody's like, "Yeah, get this game. We're gonna grind on there," and then we grind, yeah, but everybody stops after like a month or so. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I kind of stayed away from that one because
Yeah, rip $100.
Caden was trying to convince me. He's like, "Yeah, get this game, bro. It's so fun." I mean, yeah, it's all right. I'll just kind of stick with the free player mode. And then everybody stopped playing after like what, a month and a half, maybe. So I really
Well,
dodged the
school
bullet on that one.
started back up. That's what really killed it for a lot of us was school started back up.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then I also just like I just stopped playing on my Xbox, which then led me to getting rid of my Xbox too.
Well, see, like I
Yeah.
think the
Yeah.
leader of the gaming portion of our group of friends was Colin for the longest time. Like he kind of led our
Yeah.
group in gaming, and now he's done sold his PC. That he spent
'Cause he's a loser.
months.
Let's-
He
let's
spent
make that
months
clear.
building
Now-
that thing, and then just turned out and sold it. Which he
I will say
turned
he
he
made a
turned to
profit.
produce. Yeah, he made a profit off this thing because he put a lot
He
of
didn't
work
make a
into it.
profit.
But I feel like
So-
now
Yeah,
it's
off
just
of
kind
Messiah
of
and Josiah's sister.
yeah, off of our best friend's sister. So
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't blame him,
Money's money.
trying to make a
Mhm.
profit off that. But
yeah,
yeah, it just I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, I
It,
definitely
I
dodged
didn't
the
expect
bullet.
him to do that quickly. Like I would have thought that he would have kept it for quite some
Yeah,
time.
and it also doesn't help that he got fired from his job,
hmm
so he kind of needed some money. Again, we're not going to go into on that because he made some very stupid decisions, and
we'll have to get him in on an episode to explain
Yeah.
his
We'll
actions.
have to-
yeah,
'cause-
we'll have to get him in on an episode
Yeah.
to explain it to the viewers because
That'll be a topic for another day.
we could talk
Yeah.
about for almost an entire hour probably about
Oh,
that
yeah.
whole situation because
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's simultaneously one of the funniest and one of the saddest things I've ever seen go down. It's literally
Yeah.
it is the definition of that. What is it that you either live long enough to what's the whole quote? You guys know what I'm talking about. It's like
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you
know what
either
you're
you either
talking
die
about.
you either die a
It's
hero or
either
you live long enough
die
to
a
see yourself
hero
become a
or
villain.
live long enough to see yourself
Yeah.
become the villain.
That's Colin at
It's like that one
Walmart.
21 Savage Metro Boomin song.
That's Colin's
Yeah.
arc at Walmart. Is he just became well? He didn't really become the villain. He became the villain and then redeemed
Bro, a
himself. And then
menace.
3 months later, they sentenced him to like death for his crimes 3 months prior. So it's so much fun. It's
Took
so
the jury
funny.
that long.
Yeah, it took them that long to decide what to do to him. So he was just working while they were deciding if they should just fire him, because that was one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. I can only
Yeah.
imagine how it was
Um,
seeing the security cameras of his actions, because that would have been funny to watch.
Yeah, I guess from there, I mean, that kind of gets us into another talking point. Talk about Walmart horror stories.
Are we
So
all
I don't
ready
know
for
if
that?
any of you guys came up with one whenever we were talking. I have one. It's not so much a horror story as it is just like awful planning and like just I blame this on bad luck. So at our Walmart that me and Caden work at, we have very very spotty maintenance and cart pushing. So
I
I
can vouch.
remember, yeah, there's been a couple of instances where our OGP department has suffered simply because the maintenance department is in a deeper hole than we are. Um, Allow me to elaborate. There's been multiple instances where, well, actually, let me start with this. For those of you that have never worked at Walmart, um, if there's ever a spill on the floor at all, you have to wait there until either someone comes to clean it up or someone else is able to stand next to it because it's a safety hazard. Um, so what I had done is I had one of my coworkers radio maintenance over to clean the spill up. Um, the first story is a glass spill, so they dropped the glass. Um, just waiting there for maintenance to come over. Nobody wanted to help at all, of course. Just waiting there and waiting and waiting. As people like other associates were walking by, I tried to like flag them down, like, "Hey, there's a spill here. Can you guys radio someone over or help me clean this up?" Like, "Yeah, sure." They walk off, and of course they forget because it's busy. Um, Long story short, and on that one story, I waited there for roughly an hour and 15 minutes trying to get someone over there to help clean up this spill, and eventually, um, a manager that works in the front end who will remain unnamed that I do not like um,
Starts with M. That's all I'll say.
came by and was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to clean it up yourself." And she comes over with this broom and dustpan and basically throws the dustpan at me because she was mad at me. And yeah, so I cleaned it up. But yeah, that was great. Another one is a customer had come in the store. This was in either the chips aisle or the soda aisle, I can't remember, and decided that they were going to projectile vomit down the aisle.
Are you
And
serious?
this story ends the same way that one did. Not only was I waiting there next to this putrid, smelly pile of vomit for almost an hour, I had Margaret come by again. Well, there it is. The cat has left the bag. Her name is Margaret. She's not great. Um, yeah, she comes by and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" It's like, "I'm waiting for maintenance to come by clean this up." She's like, "Well, you're gonna have to clean it up yourself." So she comes by with this mop bucket and just gives me the mop bucket. And so she walks back off,
Did she give
and
you
I'm
a
left
mop?
there with this mop bucket and this pile of. It's not even a pile; it's like a line of vomit. And I'm just mopping up this pile
Did she
of
give you
vomit.
a mop? Did she give you a mop? Like, or just the mop
Yeah,
bucket?
yeah.
Oh,
She came
okay.
by with like a mop bucket and a mop, but yeah, just there cleaning up this
So, it's
pile of vomit
what's funny
because
about that
Yummy.
is
maintenance was nowhere to be found.
at our Walmart, our maintenance is also in shambles all the time. For some reason, you can never get a maintenance worker to come and do anything in our store. Like one
I'm
day,
glad that we are not alone.
one day I stood for an hour and a half because someone had brought in their service animal. They definitely did not need this service animal. It was not providing any sort of support at all. It was just there and it pooped on the ground. So I had to stand there next to some dog turds for an hour and a half, waiting for maintenance to finally come by. And finally they got there. Finally they get there, and they clean it up, and then they just walk off. They don't say anything. They just clean it up and walk off. So
Not even like a sorry.
yeah, not even like a sorry it took me so long, and now you can't get any work done. My bad. But they just walked
That's
off.
great.
But
That's great.
so I'd say my Walmart horror story of the week. I could try to think. Oh, I think
Okay,
I
do
mentioned.
you have one?
I think I mentioned this a couple days ago. Someone tried to steal.
I have some that I've been a part of, but they're not coming up to me right now. But I'm trying to think of some
Oh yeah, no.
because there's been
We
so
talked-
many.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I got you.
someone tried to
What
steal
I think what you're about to mention,
$600 worth
we
of.
talked about yesterday.
Yeah, someone tried to steal $600 worth of Star Wars Legos, and you know what? That was really funny. Like this guy, his whole life fell apart in the matter of 15 minutes. Like that's the only way I could describe.
This was at your store?
Yeah. So this guy goes and grabs about I don't know if it was exactly 600, but it was like nearly $600 worth of Star Wars Legos, big sets. Puts them down inside his cart, and our AP guy, his name is I can't think of his name. He's a guy. He's always
No,
there.
you actually can't say the name of those guys
Oh,
because that'll
yeah.
get you in like big trouble.
Yeah, okay, I can't say his name. I don't actually know it. That's the funny part. He's only there on the weekends, and he does AP at another store as well. And he had been following him around the store because I guess the guy just kind of looked suspicious. It's his job to follow him. And the guy tries to walk out without paying for him. And the alarm's not going to get set off for Legos, no matter how expensive the set. It's not going to get set off because it's not like an
It
electronic.
didn't have
item.
any like spider wire on it at all.
No, it's just normal Legos. They're just sitting up in the aisle. And so the guy goes to walk out, and our AP guys at our store, I don't know about you guys, ours have fun. Like, have a lot of fun. I actually plan on, when I turn 18 and I go over the summer, I plan on transferring to AP just because they make $2 more and get better hours. So if I can get into AP, I get better hours and stuff before I go to college. But, like, I guess he's like, hey, stop it! And he, like, chases the guy down at the exit of the building and, like, pulls him, like, not the cart, grabs the guy and, like, forcefully sits him down on the ground. And, like, this guy is, like, a 30-year-old man. And he's like, you're going to go and you're going to pay for those, or I'm going to bring you back to our AP room. And the guy's like, I'm not going back there. And then but our AP guy just won't let him leave. Our AP guy basically just stopped him from leaving the building. Just said, you're not leaving, or you have to go through me. And this AP guy is like 20, and he is having so much fun. I am dying watching this happen. And this guy is like sitting there. I have to do the pose this guy was in after he just got caught trying to steal $600 worth of product. He was sitting on the ground waiting for the cops to arrive like this. Hold on. He was just sitting there like this. Like that though, for like an hour. He just sat there in that pose, just like
Just contemplating.
his
Like
whole life
face
went
in
into
hand.
shambles. His whole life went into shambles in the matter of 15 minutes. It was so funny. He just tried to steal so
That's
much
great.
stuff.
I
love our AP
understand.
guys.
I understand the love for sets and all that, but that's a little too much,
Yeah.
Trying to walk away with that much. It just ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it was probably one of the funnier things that's happened since I've started working on a Walmart. But that wasn't really my horror story, I don't think. There's some others. I actually wanted to tell you about this guy who I work with. I don't really work with them. So it's do you guys have a Straight Talk representative at your store?
The premiums, like those guys.
No, not Premium Wireless. Like, because Premium Wireless doesn't work with Straight Talk.
I don't know.
Straight Talk
We
Sensei's
just have
separate
we just have
representative.
the people that wear the black polos and all that.
Yeah, well, so the thing is all of our premium wireless representatives, they are some of the most enjoyable people to work with. Like one of them is the only one who works at our store right now is Caleb, and I love Caleb. Caleb is one of the most. I love talking to him because he he just reminds me of an older version of me. We just talk about movies and stuff like my entire shift. We talk about movies, just like games we play and stuff. He's honestly one of the most fun people to work with, and his boss is really nice. Another guy who used to work for Premium, his name's Sean. He still works for them. He's just a manager now, so he's not at our store anymore. But Sean was one of the funniest people I've ever worked with. The most out of pocket guy ever. There was this girl who walked in who was definitely in high school, and she wasn't like she was wearing some clothing that was kind of revealing, but it was like I think it was because it was like the prom night. I think it was prom night at the school I go to. So she was wearing like a prom dress, but it was kind of revealing, and she was like covering like herself up with like her arms. But like you could tell it wasn't like a like she was just like holding her arms close. It was like a she felt uncomfortable, it looked like. So she was just like covering up, and Sean was standing next to me as I was checking her out, and I told her have a good night. And as she's walking away, Sean leans over to me and he whispers, he just goes, "If you're gonna dress like a whore, don't cover it up." And I was dying. He is one of the most out of pocket individuals I have ever met.
Oh
And
my
one of the
goodness.
funniest guys ever. And he's such a but he's so nice to me. Like he hates everyone he
Dude.
works with but me for some reason. And I love Sean so much.
Those ones are the
But
greatest.
but our straight talk guy who does not work with Premium, his name is Levi. I'm not even gonna like not say his name. He is the only way I can describe Levi. He's the most annoying person to work with because like I don't even know. Like, some of the stuff he does is first of all, Levi is not to body shame someone. Levi is overweight and he doesn't shower. So
Oh,
when he walks by, it is the most unfathomable stench as he walks by. Like
Oh,
it's enough to call the maintenance to come back with some Febreze because it smells
oh,
horrible. And oh my goodness. I feel bad for customers when they have to go and like talk to him for like extended periods of time because I feel bad kind of making jokes about him, but like he is he just doesn't shower, and he definitely just can shower, but he just chooses not to. So he always just smells really bad. And another thing, for the longest time, he seriously looked like a homeless man. Like, if I didn't know any better, I could not imagine a customer knowing that he worked there because he did not get a haircut for a solid, like, 9 months and had the longest beard and just looked like a homeless man who was standing around electronics. And then he shaved it one day, and I understand why he does not shave his beard because he looks... he looks like Humpty Dumpty when he shaves his beard. It's so funny. And, and Levi is so random when he talks to us. He will
you're saying
walk
this
up.
man has like no chin.
Yeah, it's like all neck. It's like all neck. It goes from neck to nose. It's really weird. And,
Oh my goodness.
and he
this
I'm
is how
sorry.
big the instruction booklet is for the Millennium
Nice.
Falcon. Those of you that are
Nice.
wondering,
That's
it's just kind of
beautiful.
random, but
Well, so Levi
very
has the most
beautiful.
random like bouts of like just talking to us. And so like one day he walked up to me when I had nothing to do. And usually when I have nothing to do, I'm watching Netflix on my phone, which is you're not supposed to do that, but I don't care. My boss is a really nice guy. He doesn't really care all that much as long as I'm not doing it in front of people. And I'll just watch Netflix, and he walks up and he like says, "Hey." So I pause my show. And I'm like, "What's up, man?" And he goes, then he just speaks fluent French to me. And then just stares me dead in the eyes and goes, "You speak French?" And I was like, "No, why would I speak French?" And he goes, "Oh, I thought you were in high school." And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do they not teach you guys French?" And I chose Spanish. I was like, because it was the easiest one in my opinion. And he goes, "Oh, that's disappointing," and then just walks off. Really random guy.
You don't speak my
and
language,
and,
so
and
I'm not
Sean,
gonna conduct
no,
business with you.
Sean hated Levi. Sean despises Levi, and Sean would insult and roast Levi to his face, and it was like so funny watching it because Levi would just look at him and be like, "Yeah, that's understandable." Like Levi just like took it, and it was so funny. Um, but yeah, Levi is one of the most. He's a character. He's a character. Um, as much as I don't like working with him, I also like working with him because I like seeing the other coworkers just roast him sometimes because it's kind of funny. But like he's an interesting guy. He does a lot of stuff. Like one of the things that it's a pet peeve of mine that he does. He doesn't work for Walmart directly, but he likes to try to do Walmart work. So he likes to try to help customers when he's not supposed to, like customers who aren't like getting a phone or whatever. He tries to help them, and it annoys me to no end. Like, okay, I get it, you're trying to be helpful, but the issue with it is that he takes my keys a lot to try to help people. But what that does is it makes me have to wait for the keys when I have a line of customers. But he just doesn't care, and we've gotten to the point. So I just tell him no now. I'm just like, I can't give you them, and he's like, well, why not? And I'm like, I'm just not allowed to. And he gets so annoyed. Like, he asked me like 4 times in a row for them, and every single time I told him no, and he kept on getting more and more angry.
For some context, how old is this Levi guy?
Probably about 30, I would say.
Okay,
30,
right. It's clicking
30 to,
now.
30 to 35.
It's clicking now.
I wonder, he might have been to your guys' store at one point, because he works locally. He goes store to store to do straight talk.
What is he? What can you describe him?
Bigger, like he's tall, bigger. He's got a beard. Kind of longer, not really longer hair, but he's like it's more shaggy kind of hair, like a.
Does he look like Shaggy?
No, not at all.
Okay, because we have a premium guy that looks like him. The literally just looks like Shaggy.
Oh, what color hair does he have?
Red.
Red?
Yeah.
Does he still have the beard?
Yeah, he has a beard right now. He's growing it back.
Does he have kind of a lisp?
Well,
so like when he speaks, it always sounds like he has a cold. Like that's like a thing about it.
I don't know. I don't work in electronics enough to know.
I think I've seen that guy before at our store. Then
he works at a bunch of stores locally. Like he goes around because he only works at our store on Thursdays and Saturdays, and then every once in a while he just becomes a super villain and he works on a Friday, and that is like my least favorite Friday of the month because he comes in on a Friday, and then I'm like, man, I gotta talk to Levi.
I gotta work with Levi.
I feel bad for the guy. He is a poor guy, but if the reason I don't like talking to him is because of how he speaks. He speaks like, you know what? I don't know if have you guys ever watched The Flash? No? Okay. Never mind then. I was going to say, because he talks like the Thinker. Because the Thinker is this guy in The Flash who's like super smart. He's like smarter than everybody else. But he treats everyone like they're obsolete to him. That's how Levi acts. He says random stuff, and then whenever you don't understand what he's talking about, he treats you like you're some like dumb individual, like you're just a peasant to his infinite knowledge. Like, he is one of the most interesting guys to work with.
Peasant to your infinite knowledge is one of the greatest sentences uttered ever.
Yeah. He is.
You're just a pawn piece.
Yeah, he's the queen. I'm the pawn. Like he is.
He's got the Gatling gun.
Yeah, he is. That's okay. Basically, long story short, that's my Walmart horror story. Is working with Levi. I feel like most episodes, when I tell you guys a Walmart horror story, they're gonna be about Levi and the stuff he's done. Like, okay. I can give one more small thing that he did. This one was disgusting. So, we found out there was like this shelf thing that was ran by the Straight Talk people. Now we don't really touch their stuff too often. And he opened it up one day and realized there's a lot of space at the bottom. And he goes, "Oh, cool, a place where I could store stuff." And and then he goes and asks me if he could do that, and I was like, "Is it your guys' shelf?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "It's the shelf we run." And I was like, "Sure then." I was like, "I'm not the boss, but I'm pretty sure I could just tell you guys that you could put stuff there." I was like, "It's like if anything changes, I'll let you know." But it was fine. And one day, my boss comes around. My boss's name is Josiah. Actually, he's a really cool guy. And he goes, "Hey."
I happen to know a Josiah.
Yeah, we all do. And
I know.
he goes, "Hey, does anyone using that cabinet shelf thing down there?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Levi, I believe puts stuff in there." And he goes, "Do you know what he's putting in there?" And I was like, "I think it's just like some extra straight talk stuff." And he goes, "What do you think? There's room for us to put stuff in there?" And I was like, "Yeah, probably." And he opens it up, and I'm standing behind him when he does this, and as the words I used earlier best describe this, the most unfathomable stench comes from this shelf. Levi had been putting his sweaty straight talk shirts in there, just like putting them in there and not taking them home. For like,
no.
and there were like 6 of them, which means that was like 3 weeks worth of shirts for him. And it smelled like someone had dropped a literal stink bomb in the building. Like it was horrible. Josiah went and grabbed a like a pole thing, picked them up and threw them away. Like it was disgusting. And then he just like he wiped out the whole display and like sprayed it with Febreze, and then now we use it as a display. He went up to Levi like the next day and was like, "You're not to put stuff in there ever again if you're not going to be clean." It was genuinely horrible to bear.
That's disgusting.
I just want to know, since they were used, did that mean that this man took off his shirt, put it in there?
Yeah, I don't know when he found time to take off a sweaty shirt and put it in there, but apparently he did. Apparently he did.
What I'm asking. And also, like, does he have more to his expense? Because if he doesn't,
apparently
he's just putting good shirts in there, even though they are dirty.
One other thing is that another thing about his shirts is he wears a shirt size too small. So he does not wear the shirt
like pepperoni nipples hanging out.
No, he's got his bottom of his stomach hanging out all the time. He also doesn't wear a belt. So when he bends over to pick something up, yeah, you see, no, it's not a quarter machine, man. It looks like a full-on debit or credit swipe. I mean,
it's a whole Erie Canal.
His entire butt hangs out when he bends over, and I feel so bad for him because I don't have the balls to walk up and just tell him that he needs to put on a belt because
I gotta see this.
I'd have to take a photo of him for you guys someday just to like and send it to you guys so you guys know what he looks like.
There's some stalkers that work in Cap 2 that don't wear belts, and I'll be like going on a pick run.
Yeah.
And they'll just exactly what you were explaining there.
Yeah, Walmart, like for anybody who wants a job, I would highly recommend working at a Walmart, but for a few reasons. I feel like there are plenty of reasons not to work at a Walmart, but I feel like there are reasons too. First of all, they do pay very well. They pay on the higher end of minimum wage. They right now all Walmart stores pay a base wage of $14 an hour with yearly raises for everybody. Everybody gets a yearly raise. So I feel like that's a really good thing that they do. I enjoy that portion of it because I get paid very well for the minute amount of work I do. And another thing is like I feel like you do learn a lot of sales experience because you get a lot of like I mentioned last episode, there's a ratio of different types of customers who come in, so you have to figure out how to deal with different situations, especially like the ones who are on drugs, because those are definitely a particular case where you have to try to figure out how to
especially the ones that are on drugs.
That's the quote of the day. You have to figure out how to maintenance those kinds of people, and it is definitely really funny to go through. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I feel like Walmart's a pretty good place to work at because I feel like they don't overwork most people too much. It depends on your boss too. I think it depends on your boss.
Yeah,
like my boss definitely does not overwork me. Like my boss, he is one of the most kind people ever. And like all the time, like before he leaves for the day, because he doesn't stay my whole shift ever. He's like, are you gonna be good by yourself for the night, or do you want me to stay for the night and stuff? Like he always asks me that question. Like he's completely willing to work longer, even though he already works like 12 to 13 hour shifts. He's completely willing to work longer just to make sure I'm good. I always tell him no, that he doesn't need to stay, because I'm always fine by myself.
Yeah, our boss is kind of like that too.
But he's always like willing to stay. Like he's an amazing boss. But I know there are some bosses in the store I work at, particularly like Colin's boss, whenever he still worked there.
Peyton's current boss.
Yeah, Peyton's current boss. She is a wench. She's a witch to work for. Like, she whenever she's having a bad day, she just takes it on everybody she works with. It's pretty bad. So
You thought I was feeling you?
yeah. But I feel like my Walmart section went on there for quite a while. Caden, do you have any Walmart stories at all?
If I did, it would be a pretty lengthy story. I think we should probably transfer to the
Next.
next
Nah,
one.
tell
Um,
I feel like we're getting pretty
So,
lengthy on this
I
episode
think-
here.
Yeah, I think we should divulge into. Does anybody have any business ideas? I know we thought we might talk about that. Does anyone have any fun business ideas?
You know, there's
No.
one. There's one that me and Mac have already tried it,
What is it?
and me and Mac last summer were wanting to do vending machine business, and
it went fairly well. Like we were able
it was
to get
going
a machine.
it was going pretty good. It was going pretty good. It's
Oh, you
just,
guys actually did it.
finding the locations. Like buying the machines wasn't the problem, and buying the product wasn't the problem. It was just
Yeah.
finding somewhere to place it. And
Yeah, it's
Did you guys
that
try to
and
profit
having
on
to
them?
go through all of these. It's that and having to go through all of these steps about you have to get like a business LLC. You have to fill out all of these papers to show that if something happens, you're liable and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And it's.
Did you
it's
guys
awful.
like turn a profit at all?
we
No,
did start.
we ended up not buying a machine at all.
Yeah,
Mainly
it just
because
got to the
we had
point to
multiple
where
machines lined up to buy, but nobody wanted to put our machine out at all. Like they weren't going to put it out.
Yeah.
And that was frustrating.
I actually had a business idea recently until my spirit was broken and I realized this already exists, which I don't know how I didn't realize this already exists, but I was like, flavored toothpicks, those need to exist, and it turns out they already exist. So that was like
Yeah,
my
they already
whole-
exist.
Yeah,
You stupid
that
head.
was a business idea for like 15 minutes for me, and then it turns out they already are real. But now I want some
Yeah,
because
they
I
are.
love chewing on
Yeah.
toothpicks, and I need to get me some flavored ones. So yeah, I think that was a pretty good topic to kind of settle down from some stories. We only have 2 more on our list that I think we should just quickly get to. The thing I mentioned earlier about Nexon. Nexon is, if you guys have ever heard of the game Maple Story.
Mm-mm.
No,
no,
I don't know much
no.
about it, but I guess some employees from Nexon, one of them like branched off, like I think he got fired, and he branched off and basically he started this new business called Iron Mace, and they started this game called Darker and Darker, or Dark and Darker, I think, Dark and Darker, and where it's basically Tarkov, but medieval. So it's like medieval weapons instead of guns. So it's pretty cool. And I guess there was like this like project going on at Nexon called PT, I believe, and it was very similar to what Dark and Darker is. And Nexon basically just tried to sue Iron Mace and say, "Hey, you guys copied our idea." And their proof was that a bunch of the files for Dark and Darker were extremely similar to their files. And Iron Mace fired back with one of the best responses I've ever seen. They basically just said, "Hey, the reason a bunch of our files are the same is because they're similar games." That was the response. They were like, "We used Unity assets. So did you. Imagine that." They were like, "Imagine that files for a barrel are going to be the same in your game as they are ours." And basically, Nexon had no proof that that Iron Mace tried to copy anything. Like, they had no real proof. They just basically were just throwing this bogus lawsuit at them. The thing is that Nexon is such a big company, they could waste a bunch of money on it and dig Iron Mace into the ground and basically make it to where Dark and Darker never truly comes out. Because it's like, it was in its beta and stuff, so people liked it, though. It's actually a game that I would consider getting because it looks really fun. But now it's off of Steam. It got taken off of Steam because Nexon did a cease and desist on them. So, hopefully, Iron Mace makes it through the lawsuit and continues on with this game, because this game looks very fun, and I feel like it's a game that all of us guys would like playing because it seems really exciting.
Yeah, if it's anything like Tarkov, I really love Tarkov as a game, and if there was a medieval version of it, I'd like to try it out.
Yeah. And I think this would be a good time to go to our final topic. All right, so final topic. The Tik Tok Congress hearing. That was a absolute mess.
Yeah, they accomplished absolutely nothing.
Have you seen? You guys know who Gideon is?
Yes.
Do you guys know that one?
Gideon.
Do you guys know that
Gideon
one
is
TikTok
hilarious.
sound? Do you guys know that one TikTok sound that's like it's like the gun cocking and then like the gunshot noise, but it's like over and over again. And people do that thing where they just hold up the middle finger on every single gunshot. He made a TikTok.
yeah.
It's just that sound and him doing the middle finger over and over again. It's just, this was the whole TikTok Congress hearing, and he just goes, the U.S. representatives, and it's just him doing that over and over again. And that's so accurate to what it was. That was like the dumbest thing I've seen recently. I can't even begin to explain how stupid that whole
I don't get how
thing was.
people just the questions that they ask.
Yeah, they had no good points.
It just you could see what they were asking for, but it just I don't know. It made the CEO look like,
An angel.
the smarter guy in the room,
Yeah. I mean,
and there was just a lot of questions that seemed like almost to the point to where they were dumb questions.
yeah, they were really stupid questions.
But I feel like they got nowhere. And wasn't it like 4-5 hours long? Like the trial or
like
everything,
the whole
the
video,
hearing?
you can watch the whole hearing. It's like 4 to 5 hours long. It's painful to sit through and
Yeah.
watch. I only got to see like an hour total footage of like some
Yeah.
clips I've seen, but even that was just painful to watch because it's like, it's so cringy to see it all. But I mean, I don't know. I have TikTok, but it's one of those things where it's like, if it gets banned, I'm not gonna care all that much. I'm not
Yeah.
on it too
I
often.
don't use it that much either.
I'm not on it too often enough to really care. Like, I'm not one of those people who really gets sucked in and like watches hours of them. I'll watch like a few and then I'll
Yeah.
just be done.
Yeah.
But it's like, so if it gets
Yeah.
banned, I don't really care. I don't understand why people care that much, because when TikTok gets banned, I don't think they understand that if TikTok gets banned, just another company's going to come in and make an app just like
Yeah.
TikTok.
I'm gonna
Like,
make
Well, there's also YouTube Shorts.
Yeah,
There's
YouTube
Instagram
Shorts, Reels.
Instagram Reels.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
like
there's the
There's
Facebook
like the
one.
Snapchat stories too.
Snapchat. What are they called?
yeah.
Or they're called like I don't remember what they're called. It's something on Snapchat, but like yeah. Like every app has them nowadays, so it's not like anything's gonna really change. Everyone's either gonna migrate to one of these other apps, or a new company's gonna come and make just a new TikTok. So it's not like it's gonna be a big deal if TikTok gets banned. But I think people just don't want TikTok to get banned because that's like the big name that everybody knows. So
Yeah.
But I think with that concludes all of our topics. Does anyone have anything else? No?
I can think of.
All right. Well, thank you to anyone who is watching. It's cool.
Yes,
Second
thank
episode.
you. Yeah.
Second
I
episode.
appreciate you so much.
Yeah. If you'd like to get like notifications and stay up to date, subscribing would be cool. It's your choice. Do it if you'd like. Yeah. So thank you all.
Yep.
Also,
Thank you.
Here we go.
Patreon will be upcoming.
Patreon will come up soon. We gotta get one set up.
It's in the making. It's in
Yeah,
the making.
we got to make one.
And then also we should have a link posted to our Discord if you guys want to join there too.
Yes, and the
Uh,
description of this video, I will have a Discord link put up. This video is going to be definitely edited a lot differently. I have a new editing software I'm going to use instead of using the built-in one on my computer, because the built-in one just really didn't let me do that much. But my new one should give me some more things I should be able to do. So the video should look a lot more clean, is what I'm saying. But yeah, so if you'd like to stay up to date, subscribe if you'd like to. Patreon coming. Discord will be in the description. Thank you all.
yeah,
Thank
thank you.